I am chilling, by the way, and the
You are
director.
chilling. I am a villain.
Have
And
you
this is a
started?
pre-recorded stream.
That was a great intro.
I don't have a better intro for it.
That's pretty good, actually.
I'm busy this Wednesday. I'm at currently, if this is airing when it
Wait, we're
should
not
be.
doing the. I assumed you're doing the fake giant bomb thing where you just fake it's the day.
Oh no,
It is
it's currently
October
Tuesday.
6th.
We're actually, I mean, we're recording this at the time that we normally would stream, so it's not.
Yeah, that's fair. It's gonna be a little bit shorter tonight, but yeah.
Yeah,
We thought better
it's
than
not
nothing.
weird, but
It's just funny.
let's see. What do I need to do? Crucible matches. So what we'll do is we'll go to the tower.
I'm already heading over there, so I might.
Details.
Okay.
But I
Wait to
am
load.
currently at a. I think they're building it as an invitational event.
Okay.
So normally on Tuesday nights, the local bar in my area hosts trivia. And because I've won both as a member of a team and solo. Actually, I won solo dolo the second time that I was there.
It says you're matchmaking. I can't join you, by the way.
I'm in the tower, so.
Oh, that could be one.
It was probably just that because I was landing.
Let me look.
You should be able to join me.
Not enough space in fire team.
Okay, that's weird.
And it says your fire team member is 1 out of 6. Which, right, I'll just get the things and I'll. Well, when you're back in orbit, let me know.
Hold on. Let me.
Look, you do your stuff first. It's fine. I'm just
I
saying.
just sent you another invite.
Tell me, you don't fear Vanguard operations?
But
You fear the Crucible?
But right now you're winning.
did you get the Crucible Engram for leveling up?
No, and it's still saying you're full.
Hmm.
Let me do this tower stuff. I don't figure it out.
This was made
I did not.
That's weird.
Even steel needs sharpening.
Oh, because you didn't have
Yeah.
you
Quite as
didn't do
much
all
to
the bounties. That's right.
Correct. I'm grabbing some now.
Alright, I'm going to orbit.
Let me get some stuff and I won't join you.
But because I won at the place that I go to, the guy that hosts there, he and a friend, he runs a business.
Mm-hmm.
So him and another guy, they run trivia pretty much, I want to say, the entire week.
Really?
Yeah, between different days. So the this is kind of like a big get together of everybody that had won gets invited.
Okay, let me try you now. Yeah. There we go. It lets me join you now. I don't know why it wasn't before.
And so that's Wednesday night. So the night this normally goes up, the night we normally stream, I'm going to be busy doing that. So
We're here.
we decided to pre-record roughly as long as we normally would.
It's gonna be a little shorter, but yeah, at least something.
At more or less the same time.
Mhm.
So you get the same exhausted me. But yeah. Other than that, it's going to be pretty normal. I've turned off the viewer count because obviously there's nobody watching this as we're doing it. It's recording. So there's no reason for it. That being said, nobody ever watches anyway. So but we are gonna jump into some Crucible because I think it's 3 more matches for the one quest. Yeah. I've got 5 of 8. So Just gonna grind some Crucible matches. Mike, were you able to watch the
What?
the first 2 hours of Far Cry?
No, I did not watch that. Did you?
I'm like 3/4 of the way through it. It looks like they took the Wildlands and Breakpoint games and just slapped a Far Cry skin on it. Because like it's the same like gear score, and you're finding gear and equipping that, and it's got bonuses and all the stuff from, I mean, really Wildlands. Like Far Cry 5 had some of it, but like they have the whole, you know, search zones, and you need to be in certain zones to accomplish things, and you can go in quiet or go in loud or this or that, which I understand, right? Like, okay, how do we as Ubisoft pump out a massive 100+ hour AAA game at least once a year?
They don't care per se which game it is.
No, they just ape every idea. And I guess really it started with that Assassin's Creed. What was the Egypt one? Like that was the first one to really do that.
Valhalla, it's the other one. Yeah,
Well, there was-
Odyssey.
No, that was the Greek one.
So it's Valhalla. No, Valhalla is the current one.
Yeah.
There's one before them.
Yeah.
Control.
Whatever that one is. Yeah, it's not too bad.
No zone
But
means no victory. Take them and crush
yeah,
your
it's, you know, it looks like it's gonna be a me game in the sense that it's a game that I can pick, it's a game I can pick up for an hour, like, you know, twice a week for 3 months.
Makes sense.
Oh man, I missed the melee. But the thing that actually worries me most about it is
Zone B.
with
You have advantage.
with the Ghost Recon games, you could turn the whole like level advantage stuff off.
Really?
Well, especially in Breakpoint. Like in Breakpoint, there was like level caps,
Oh, okay.
and you know it was much like a Destiny game where you know you went and found certain guns, and those increased your, for lack of a better term, power score. And they may not be the guns that you want to use, but because it ups your power score, you know, you need to use them.
Gonna do
And but you could, I found, thankfully, that you could just straight up turn that off, which meant it turned much more into like traditional Wildlands, where you could kind of pick the guns that you liked. And then kind of build a class that way, which I'd much rather prefer that. Like, I'd rather take, you know, okay, I really like scars in those games. Because I like the heavier hitting, and then I'll go find the extended mag. Like, I'll go find the attachments for guns that I want. And that led to, honestly, like, an overall better, for me, better experience when playing those games, because I didn't have to worry about being underpowered against enemies. Because, like, if you have a sniper rifle, it should be more or less a one-shot kill.
More or less. There should be some variation in that, but I agree.
Like, well, if you put one in a dude's dome, that's an instant kill.
I'll agree with that one.
Unless he's, like, a heavy, and the game's made it known that you need to break armor before you can... Like, they have a one-shot, you know, armor, basically, on their head. That's totally fine. Like, that idea is, you know, it's tried and true in a lot of games. Like, you know, the probably most famous example was Metal Gear Solid 5, where the enemies actually learned your playstyle.
Oh yeah, that was really cool. Like the way the enemies were smart.
Like the idea that you could just, you know, if you were one of those guys that just went after headshots, they would start wearing bulletproof helmets, and, you know, then you had to worry about that. Well, then you could also, like, plan out your kind of, plan out your attack in the sense that, okay,
Your enemy has a power play.
I'm big into headshots, so I will, knowing that, I will go and do the supply missions to knock out the armor reinforcements.
So I'm gonna say it. My gun sucks right now. We should go and do some nightmare stuff after this versus staying in Crucible.
Okay.
So I need better guns.
Well, and
I've not gotten
remember, level advantage doesn't matter in this.
Yeah, but I don't have any other guns on me, so
We're also getting our asses handed to us.
yeah.
Zone B captured.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, like, Far Cry, I don't even know what Far Cry is anymore. Like,
Yeah. Three was like 3 and 4 actually like 4, and I know it's a lot of the same game and all that.
Zone B
well,
lost. They have advantage.
or no, it was Primal. That was the exact same map,
Sure, but I meant 3 and 4 are basically the same game.
more or less. Yeah.
I understand not the same map. I'm not.
But I mean, like, to that extent, the difference between 2 and 3 is massive.
Oh yeah, 100%. They're not even on the same engine. CryEngine. Remember, Crytek made 2 and 1 and 2.
Well, and that's why it's called Far Cry.
Yeah. I don't even because 3 is not on Cry. I thought it went to the UB
C
engine.
lost. Enemy has zone advantage.
Yeah, I forget the exact lineage, but 3 is the first UB game.
I knew that part, but I didn't remember what engine it's on.
Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours.
And then, you know, 4 I like, because it was the first to really just kind of let you do whatever.
You took them.
Like, if you were smart,
3 minutes. Hold strong, and
oh,
this
we might
battle
actually win
is
this
yours.
one. Okay.
Zone
Yeah, I was very confused by that too.
Well, there's one guy in the opponent team that's AFK.
So it's just enough we need.
Well, I mean, one AFK kill is 3 points. So, that's big.
Change the topic. Do you know what I'm seeing tomorrow?
Keep it up, and
Are you
victory
seeing
is
Bond on
yours.
Wednesday?
Yeah, there's IMAX screenings a day early.
Oh.
So we're just going to an I think dine-in theater.
Nice. I'm seeing it Thursday at 4, so it's the first showtime
That
in
exists.
a regular theater.
Or they start that early now for early showtimes.
Yeah. Well, especially if it's, it's already out, so
Yeah.
it's not like it's, world premiere.
Is all I
Holy
ask.
shit. We pulled that one out.
Did not expect us to win that one.
But,
Zones controlled. Targets eliminated. Nice work.
8 out of 10. Alright. We'll go do, excuse me.
It's funny because I actually picked up an all rifle, but yeah, I still would like to do nightmare stuff.
Okay, you want to do
Wait,
Nightmare or...
It's more PvP stuff, or PvE. I'd say nightmare unless you want to do the other thing.
Strike or...
And strike or nightmare, I could live with either.
Let's do this one. But yeah, I mean, I'm seeing good reviews out of the early screenings from audience.
Which it's scoring more like Spectre. Do we think Spectre is a low point, or do we think the second movie is a low point?
Quantum's a lot better if going back on it.
Sure, but in the moment it was
not good in the moment, but now it's not bad.
Also, is this Bond the most
Consistent?
one where the movies matter?
What do you mean?
So like this film, it looks like all 4 films for it will matter.
You mean 5? Oh, you mean...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think really just the last 3 matter.
Casino Royale matters.
Well, but the only thing that matters from Casino Royale is Vesper dying at the end. That's it.
Sure. But it seems in the trailers to talk about that.
Well, that was his first love,
Right.
So that's what they're leaning on, is that
Guardian, we've received limited intel regarding a Vex information depot.
These Vex, they're building
the
something.
I want you to get in.
Madeline Snow is his next love.
Calculating probabilities.
Who is the girl from Knives Out?
Greetings, Captain.
Oh, right.
No,
Has requested that I run tactical on this
Isn't
mission.
Anna whatever her name's
Please
in this
allow
film?
me to
Am I
help
crazy?
Anna de Armas? I don't
Yeah.
believe she is.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, hello, Vex.
You want to bet?
What can you tell us about this terminal?
Like, I'm willing to bet you Anna de Armas is in this film.
Detected significant Vex activity
I'm
at
trying to-
Edison shortly after the Exodus Black arrived.
Is it Anna de Armas or is it one of the
Maybe we
other?
won't run into much resistance.
Anna de Armas is...
Yeah, but since death kind of follows you around,
Yeah, she's in No Time to Die.
I wouldn't count on that.
Positive as ever, I see.
She's playing Paloma. That's what I'm telling you. I'm like, she's in this film.
Well, they have somebody, one of the other prominent Hispanic American actresses is in this as well.
Oh, wait, I remember that. Wasn't she like the oldest Bond? Yeah.
And then
Where are we
obviously
supposed to be
you've
going?
got the new 007. We have to locate the insights rooms.
Do you have any
Supposed to be
clue
down
where?
on the ground. Oh, yeah, it's down here. I mean, I guess you could just be killing ads trying to get gear to pop, but...
Sure, but I'm not, it's not worth time. That's just like a thing with it.
And obviously this is the movie where we're going to be introduced to...
Do we think she'll actually be the next Bond in future films? 'Cause
She's the next
the-
00, we know that.
Sure, but the way they're talking, like, from a casting point of view, it doesn't seem like she's gonna... Yeah,
Well,
next
and
Bond.
also, I highly doubt, judging from what the Broccoli family has been saying, I highly doubt the next Bond's going to be female.
Yeah, because that's not...
Because
Bond.
they're like, it's part of the character, right? Like,
Yeah. Like, I don't think his race matters. I think his sex does.
I think Idris Elba would be amazing.
Yeah. And he would still be Bond. That's the difference. He would still be Bond.
Yeah. He would be a badass Bond. But Cillian Murphy,
That's a good one.
because his Peaky Blinders performance, where he plays kind of that gangster, you know, like, I think he could pull off. Dude, I beat the shit out of that guy. Holy cow.
He did.
I love that sprint hammer bash. It's just so much fun. And I real this game's T, right?
No, it's M.
Is it M?
I swore it's M. Am I wrong?
Well, I'm just trying to think why it would be M. Like, they don't delve into language.
When we get out of combat, I'll look at it. Okay, I'll look at it.
I got you.
Destiny, cool. Okay, ESRB load quicker. T, you're right. Okay.
What I was gonna say, if this was an M game, I could totally see the hammer super, or not super, but the ability, where I just bash some dude with a hammer. I could totally see that in an M-rated game, just being like, you just knock his head off or something.
Full.
Like a Doom execution. Which I understand why they have to keep kind of the violence, if you will, down.
But even just cartoony helps.
Oh, we're probably gonna have to hack it. I guess. Or like cap the point.
I'm on it.
Yeah, we gotta cap the point. This is where I absolutely need to be using this revolver because it's my highest power thing.
Guardian, I'm making the elimination of cargo your priority of this operation. Its
But
power has been active all over the system.
I don't
From our
like.
intel, it's mostly targeting
The thing of it is, though, I guess we've been playing Destiny for so long. It's been what, like 8 years between 1 and 2.
Put him down.
I don't know if suddenly making this an M-rated game and including some of that violent stuff, like they've built in a lot
So,
of lore reasons
I
why
don't
things.
know this. I
don't
feel like you
explode.
can't. I'd be curious if the ESRB would let you rate like a DLC piece separate from an
Give us
E.
the good news first.
DLC isn't rated.
Can it be though? I'm curious if you can, because you can make downloadable content. Like you can make things. Like I'd be curious if they would ever be willing to come up with something.
Well, I think like
News first.
if Call of Duty wanted to rate some like story DLC. Oh, well, we got a wanted guy. Take him out. But like with Call of Duty, right? If they wanted to do a story expansion, I don't think they need to worry about rating it. They just need to like they submit it to the ESRB and the ESRB just goes, okay, is it any different from what your game is? No? Okay, it's getting the same rating. Otherwise, you just don't rate DLC.
Have fun.
One does have to admire.
You know,
Gargan's
it's
command
why
of
like
Vex
map
technology.
packs don't have
Maybe
DLC
if we catch
ratings.
him, he can give Kate a lesson or two.
Or like, I think the only way that you could have DLC that's rated is you would have to like greatly. You need to do something, right? Like, you can't just.
But you're allowed to
something out.
petition for a rating change, is my understanding.
Yeah, but I mean, you're only gonna go up, right? They're not gonna let you go down.
I'd be curious if there are any circumstances where they have.
Well, because think about it, like, what are they gonna base the rating off of? The main game. So.
Oh, sure, but I'd be curious if they could sub-rate it. Be like, but this piece of DLC is.
But if the DLC, like, if the main game is required for the DLC, then
Sure.
the DLC would have to be rated whatever the main game is. Because
It depends what it's rated for. Like, it was rated for a piece of. So, example being in my head, if it's a piece of story and it's because there's a rape scene. If the DLC doesn't have rape scene.
doesn't necessarily matter though, because you're still like the.
You know, you the game maker who shows the SWW what you want to show them is how this rating works. They don't play the whole game.
Well, you show them what you're gonna get bopped for, because if you don't, you're fucked.
You show them the worst stuff is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. But what I was gonna say is, like, you know, in your example of there being a rape or
Let's
a
be following you,
sexual
my bad.
assault. And then it not being in the DLC, like, for example, like Left Behind for Last of Us, they didn't sell Left Behind separately. You needed access to Last of Us. They eventually sold it separately, but it wasn't initially separate. So Left Behind would have been rated whatever Last of Us was rated. So I would say anything that isn't its own executable
Is the line.
is going to be rated whatever the main game's rated. Now, obviously, you could release patches, right? You know, like that's what the anime games do, is they release a nudity patch on like the developer's website. Well,
Right, that's different because
ESRB
it's
can't.
not because only Steam does not require also ratings, where like PlayStation, Xbox does.
Right. And that's more of the new school, old school mentality. Not necessarily a.
It's not a legal one. In some countries, it is a legal requirement, by the way, not in the U.S. So, like in Brazil, it's a legal requirement to have from their rating board, no matter where you sell your game.
I'm joining you guys, but I'm ahead of you.
Same, and I'm next to you.
Stop Craig, and I would say focus on him.
Yep, where is he?
He's spawning in. We need to cap these points. And those will release him. I would imagine, like, the thing that I believe is going to push the rating system to an interesting point is because the EU is going to effectively make it mandatory that if you have gambling of any kind, it's M-rated.
Yeah.
So, like, FIFA is going to be M-rated.
Pokemon, the old Pokemon games we've never released them yet, right?
So, you know, that raises the speculation of the EU doesn't. We have to each cap one of these. There's 3 of them.
Okay.
Obviously, the EU doesn't want FIFA to have gambling in it, which totally makes sense. But EA wants it, because of course they do. I mean, you're a business, why not? Like, why wouldn't you, you know, you want to get as much money as you can. Ethics be damned, more or less. And, you know, so this, this push towards making all loot box stuff effectively give you an M rating is going to be kind of the tipping point of
Oh yeah, that's going to do so. I'm going to be curious what it does.
people going, this is ridiculous, why are we, you know, why are we even, like, at the Hague, right? There's gonna be a court case. And they're gonna go, why are we even dealing with this, right? Like, there's no reason for us, there's no legal precedent for them to have to deal with it this way. Because, you know, it was never a thing, right? It was always casinos, and casinos are gated by IDs. So, okay, are you gonna force...
But here comes the council maker's argument. Would be like, we have a thing which is, for all legal standards we've accepted on the internet, is a TOS. So they're like, and we've accepted the legal standard that if someone lies on the TOS for their age, the company must do something that they find out, but it's not the company's responsibility to determine if they're telling the truth.
Right. But
That has been
also,
always the legal standard for the internet.
you have to remember, the legal grounds, especially suit-wise, are so different compared to
What intel did you discover?
in the States.
There's only one data artifact here.
Empty
labeled
vessel.
Oxa, and it's seriously corrupted. Metadata says it was last accessed by an Otzot centuries ago. What is an Oxa?
From the enemies and from the thing.
Those are questions for another day, I suppose. But for now,
Have a 1236 mark. 33.
Yeah, I got the most kills.
Nice. Want to do another strike, or you think you got what you want?
I'm good now. If you want to do whatever. I just
Receive
need
one.
some.
I
I'm
need
better
two
stuff.
more matches. But yeah, I have a feeling the loot box stuff is either going to get a hell of a lot worse or a hell of a lot better. And honestly, the way that you still there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
No. Well, it looks like Streamlabs is frozen, so I'm hoping it's still recording. But what's going on there, Streamlabs? The way FIFA could have gotten out of this is to yeah, that's really so. My camera, like the video is working perfectly fine, but like the UI is frozen, which I've never seen before.
Weird.
But I mean, I can click on everything's working, so I'm just hoping that the UI just frozen, just doing whatever. But if FIFA just like made Ultimate Team its own thing and its own executable, there we go, it's all back. Then they could make it M and then age gate it that way, because you know the legal precedent is there that it's up to the parent for a kid to see like an R-rated film or buy an M-rated game. Like the kid can't do it, but the parent can. So you know, that's definitely, it's a touchy subject for a lot of different reasons, least of which is the whole NFT boom, which I still think is just a... You want to talk about Pegasus papers. I want the Pegasus papers in 10 years from all these NFT companies.
Oh yeah, that'd be wild. Did you see one of the NFT companies just like disappeared today that like raised 2 point some mil?
I mean, I don't know. I want crypto to succeed, but not in the current state that it is.
Also, NFT I just think is a bad use for it. Any of that.
Yeah.
So it makes no sense. By any stretch.
But like cryptocurrency, it's too much of the wild, wild west right now.
Honestly, that stuff upsets me, I think, less than the NFT stuff. Because NFT stuff I just think is insane by any standard.
Yeah.
Show your enemy
The other stuff to me just feels like trading unregulated commodities, which at least you should, if you understand that, I think it's acceptable.
enemy claims zone A.
Well, but like, it's the equivalent of just taking, you know, going to, you know, just like any company, like walking in their front door and being like, I want to buy a share of your company. Instead of going through the process of the stock market.
Enemy
And,
claims zone B.
you know, at least with the stock market, there are some protections.
Very few / even the ones that are there. A lot of times the ones that are there are dumb more than actually useful, but
Well, and it's regulated, right? Like, you know who's trading what. Like, the price is not constant, but you know what I mean. Like,
it's nearly impossible for it to go an insane distance in a day.
Right.
Because
like,
the market was shut down and
you're not going to see, well, I shouldn't say you're not going to see because it has happened 2 or 3 times before, but you're not going to see a company go from $1 billion to $1 trillion in a day.
Sure. I get that one. I think that's consistent. I could probably.
Like, the Volkswagen Group did it, and I think they're going to be the last ones to ever do it. Because it was part of the, when Volkswagen fully acquired Porsche. Volkswagen, for a day and a half, was the most valuable company in the world.
They can never say that ever again.
Zone B captured.
I mean, if they get their electric shit in order, they could
Which,
absolutely
you know.
say that again. Because they have the infrastructure. You know, they're not Tesla, right? They're an auto manufacturer. Tesla is a vaporware company. Plain and simple. Like,
God, I was reading about the Tesla solar roof stuff the
yeah.
other day. I did not realize quite how bad their system was.
That
Like I always thought it wasn't worth it from a cost point of view, but I did not realize it was quite like catastrophically bad.
oh, that company is so. Don't ever try to look into Tesla.
Like I legitimately think their cars tend to be of decent enough quality and actually decent. There's pipeline problems and there's production problems.
Their
but, like, the
interiors
roofs-
are
the roofs
absolute
just-
terrible.
The roofs just felt comical though. That's the difference to me. Is where the cars are annoying and there's problems, the roofs just felt comically like this is nearly illegal.
I will give Tesla the build quality of their cars from a body point of view has gotten a hell of a lot better.
And no, I'm not saying they're perfect, and there are definite problems, and there's an inconsistency problem. I think is the biggest problem with them.
Because, like, for example, the Tesla Model S for
As one.
several years, going on a magnitude of probably 5 or 6 years, had panel gaps worse than Chinese knockoff cars. Because they had no quality control department. Like, even if they said they did, because they weren't a company built for scale. And that's very clear. They've made that abundantly clear anytime they release a new vehicle.
Scale is their problem. I think that's probably the most valid complaint. Best way to say the complaint.
But the problems with scale implement so many other problems of quality and, like, their interiors. I mean, I've sat in more luxurious 20-year-old Korean shit boxes.
You have zone advantage.
Like, the interiors on 10-year-old Hyundais are nicer than $140,000 Teslas.
You took them, now hold them.
It's
Don't
sad.
see lost.
Like, and they've built up this reputation, for lack of a better word, I guess, an infamy of, oh, they're the, you know, they're not your father's auto company, you know.
Keep it up.
Tesla fans love to say that. They love how to say, oh, these cars aren't normal cars, or whatever they want to say. Right. The other thing that they don't realize is they're also one of the most inefficient vehicles known to man. In terms of where the nickel is mined, where the batteries are built, they're getting better about that part.
I don't think they need to from a cost basis.
Well, no, I mean, it's cheaper to build them in China
You have zone advantage.
than it is to build, you know. You could easily build a battery in China for, I'd say, 40% of the cost of building one in the States. Just in labor costs, right? Like, not taking into account anything else. Labor costs only. And that would allow you to kind of do what a lot of the large-scale manufacturers are trying to do with their electric cars, where you can mass produce for a decent price. Now, you know, everybody loves to go, every Tesla fan loves to say how, oh, my car's so much better for the environment. Well, not really. Because a lot of most modern internal combustion cars are actually made from recycled metals. Recycled aluminum, recycled steel, things like that. So there's really not a lot of stuff, you know, steel being mined, or iron being mined, and things like that.
3 minutes.
Where batteries are all basically new because they have to be.
Yeah.
Yours.
And they have to ship those on the most environmentally unfriendly form of shipping, which is container ships. Now, granted, per
You have zone advantage.
freight mile, right, they're pretty efficient in terms of
Right, yeah.
environmental impact.
Because it's your mass doing.
It's mass, right? It's playing off of
Double down.
just economies of scale. Like,
Right.
okay, you know, a steamship puts out 100,000 units of
it's for
carbon
how many things?
dioxide, but the equivalent, you know,
Nearly there.
airplane
Right on and claim
to move that amount of freight is probably 500,000. You know, it's 5 times worse. So, while yes, the initial, oh, airplanes are better for the environment than steamships is
a well-fought victory.
technically true. In the sense that,
Impressive. You could give the Red Jacks
you know,
a
you could-
lesson in territory control.
you can make that argument, right? It won't stand up when you investigate more, but you can make that argument. The Steam servers are down. That's not good. Oh boy, I got 200 bright dust. Just what I need. But I mean, I am cautiously optimistic about Rivian because the guy that started Rivian worked at Tesla. Or, no. The guy that started Rivian was like an executive at Tesla or something like that, so he didn't necessarily work there. But he knows how that company operates. And he's doing it right. He's got money from Ford, Amazon. He's already got big dollar contracts lined up. He's treating this like a traditional auto manufacturer. And it's working, right? It's excuse me, they moved into an old Mitsubishi plant in Illinois. I believe it's in Normal, Illinois.
Yeah, normal would be southwest of me.
I believe that's where it was. And you know, they're able to do a lot of stuff that makes... It's the reason a Ford costs $30,000 and not $100,000. Right? They can produce at scale because they have the stuff for it. Tesla doesn't have the stuff for it, which is why the Cybertruck is still vaporware.
Also, it's not out yet.
It was supposed to be out 2 years ago. The Cybertruck's vaporware. Like, you might see somebody, like a non-celebrity, you might see somebody drive it in 3 years. And at that point, they're going to be driving it out of spite. They're not going to be driving it out of, you know, love for the vehicle. You know, they're going to see it through to the very end. I think we might be really boned because we're stuck at 4 out of 12.
Jesus.
Steam servers are back up. Please log out and back in to reset the game. Okay.
Oh, we have to do that?
I think you should just have to go to the main menu.
Let me try it.
Oh, son of a
Only
bitch,
fire team.
I discarded the wrong one.
I'm changing character, and that'll do it.
Game options. Change character.
Okay, I'm back. Just because of our weird schedule, I probably have like 1 or 2 more rounds than me.
Yep. It's promising. It said log in when I selected my character. Alright, Crucible control.
There we go.
It's interesting that Destiny told us that the Steam servers were down.
Happened to me though, which is interesting.
It didn't come up on your little
No, I had no problem.
text thing? Because then, like, the right-hand side of the screen is where, like, the text chat is. And that's where it told me. So,
Oh, I know in some time. I am going to the AEW pay-per-view in November. Up in Minneapolis.
yeah. I'd like to see if they're going to be in Michigan, but the closest they're in is Chicagoland.
I'm surprised they're not in Michigan, just because there's enough people there.
Oh, dude, and Michigan has a huge history in wrestling.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm surprised they haven't.
Like, some of the greatest, like, the Hearts had some excellent matches in Michigan.
Really?
You know, the famous Hell in a Cell
Yeah.
was in Detroit. When Mankind went through the cell, not off the cell, but through the cell.
Control.
When he goes through the cell, that's in Detroit. So, you know, and there
Take those zones.
there was a shirt that they did for the last Raw at the Joe,
Mm-hmm.
and it had like a list of everything that had happened in Detroit, specifically at the Joe, but
Zone C. Captured Zone A.
for WWE,
Zone B.
and it took up
Zone
like the whole
advantage is
shirt.
yours.
It was insane.
The one thing that I'm upset, it's like, there's no way in hell I'm gonna get it. There's a t-shirt apparently at New York Comic Con with AEW Cross Street Fighter.
That's been out for a while. That's a line.
No, it's an act. Oh, is it a line?
Zone
Yeah, I think it's a line out of Japan. Because I've seen them, like, I saw them for sale.
That just looks so cool to me.
Is it in the Street Fighter, like, box art stuff?
captured zone.
I think so.
Have advantage.
That's a line, yeah.
Okay, because they were very clear saying it's some limited edition version of it.
Then maybe it's specifically, like, who's on it, or...
It could be if it was on it, then that's possible. Because it was very specifically saying we only have it at New York Comic Con, and it was like a limited quantity.
Zone A lost. Enemy has advantage.
Makes sense, I mean,
That shut them down.
It's a cool looking thing for sure.
like... I understand the need for that exclusive stuff, right? Like,
There is a financial incentive.
oh, there's absolutely a financial incentive,
Zone
but
B lost.
the thing that honestly
Frustrating.
pisses me off about, like,
Captured Zone C.
exclusive shirts or whatever is just like it's not a good practice,
Lost the lead.
especially if you want to be a company that's all about like inclusivity and
What
like
AEW was doing for some shirts, which I think is an acceptable practice, is they always sell the front of the shirt and the back is unique to the event.
yeah,
Like, to me, saying we have a unique version of the shirt, but you still can get the shirt, I think is like the CM Punk Ultimate Ringer shirt. Like, they had a Chicago version when he premiered. Then they were selling the Ringer shirt separately. I think that's a good way of doing it, personally.
well, like, think about it this way, right? Like, if I made a shirt and it was I can't even think of what would be on it, but I had a shirt that was pretty popular. And then I made a like specific 8-bit version of it for GDEX, right? Because their logo's 8-bit. So we made an exclusive shirt for GDEX that is only available there and
Zone B.
will never be sold anywhere else.
Advantage is yours.
The only way I
You're avenged.
saw that. The only way I myself can feel good about something like that is if there's something special about the shirt. Like, if it's just like a normal shirt, like if we use Gildan's, for example.
Yeah,
as a
I have a better
normal
one.
shirt.
AJ, next year, I want us to make special, only sold at GDEX underwear.
Zone A captured. Zone advantage is yours.
I'm sure we could find some schmuck to pay $50 for.
Zone B lost.
Somebody would buy that, you know, like. There's some freak out there that
I would buy it. Are you joking? Underwear with my face on it?
I wouldn't buy anything with my face on it.
That feels a little too. Can you imagine walk around in public with something with your face on it? It just feels off.
Enemy has a power play. Zone C captured.
Well, that's why you don't see wrestlers walking around with their shirts on. Like,
Well, they might wear just shirts, but not ones with their face on it. Like saying best in the world, for example. Like, that's different than.
I mean,
Like, if people know, they know, but it's not.
when I saw John Cena in the airport, he was just wearing a white t-shirt.
I think that is his outfit.
Like, he wasn't wearing a John Cena shirt because, like,
Power play.
that's the last thing they want is to bring it, especially when they're traveling.
Yeah.
The last thing they want is to bring.
Especially near someone like John Cena, who is bigger than wrestling. It's not like your Daniel Bryanson, where, like, if people know wrestling, sure they know him, but otherwise, you don't.
Or like, you know, the one that comes to mind is the Kevin Owens Kevin Steen fight Steen fight or the fight Owens fight.
Only 5 minutes
Like,
left.
those shirts are badass, and the rest, like, WWE had a run for like a year and a half where they made some absolutely badass looking shirts. And they just so happened to be wrestling shirts. It wasn't like they're cool for wrestling shirts. It's they're cool. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, full stop. They're not. It's not like, oh,
Zone B captured. You have zone advantage.
you know, the people that know are gonna know and all this and that. Like, you know, it's
They have advantage. Don't
also, I just don't like.
take this without a fight. Zone B lost. It's a power play.
I don't like wearing shirts that have our references. Like,
I depends on it. Like I don't mind it.
Zone A captured.
It depends on the shirt too. Like I wear band shirts.
Your enemy
like
has
the
defeated you.
the one wrestling. Well, I had 3 wrestling shirts. I had the Bret Hart.
You eat monsters for breakfast. You can win a
Uh,
battle for territory.
They had like a line that were. I don't know the best way to describe it. They had like. They were more traditional. They weren't like over the top wrestling shirts.
Mhm.
They're more like traditional style shirts. And so I had a Brock Lesnar one, I had a Shinsuke Nakamura one, and I had the Bret Hart one. And I liked wearing the Shinsuke Nakamura one because it said, like, Shinsuke Nakamura, Tokyo, Japan, and then I had some kanji on it, and that was
Just say
it.
last game, I guess, just because weird stuff on my schedule.
I gotta quick pick something up from the Postmaster, and then, yeah, we can do one last game.
Okay, works for me.
Excuse me. I wasn't a huge fan of wearing the Brock Lesnar one out in public because it said Brock Lesnar Suplex City on it.
Okay, sure, that one might be a little weird. I think like, I have the CM Punk Best in the World one. I don't think that draws quite as much as same amount of attention.
No. Like, it's not the Bullet Club one either. Like,
Right. Like that's kind of my line is how normal of a shirt does it look to me,
12:30.
which is kind of how I view the stuff.
Yeah.
Does it look like a normal T-shirt that may have something on it, but it's still normal? Like band shirts to me probably look mostly normal in real life, or we'll usually get ones that look more normal.
Well, the one that I'm kind of jealous of are the Malachi Black ones. Like,
Oh, those are cool.
those are badass. Like, and they look like band shirts. They don't look like wrestling shirts. You know, in a weird way. People are more okay with the nerd culture when it comes to bands than they are the nerd culture when it comes to anything else. Like,
Oh, 100%. I am ready when you are, by the way.
like if you, for example, if you wanted to go and like if you wanted to walk around in public, right, in a decently sized city, so like Grand Rapids, you will get more looks if you are wearing a Bryan Danielson, the Yes shirt from WWE. You'll get more looks if you're wearing that than if you're wearing like a Rancid shirt or an Anthrax. Like, you'll get more weird looks wearing wrestling shirts than wearing even obscure band shirts. which is why I think the approach of those Malachi Black shirts is perfect, because you can, unless you know what it is, you're just like, oh, that's a punk shirt. Like, the dude's just really into punk music. Meanwhile, and like, the AEW tag isn't that big. So, unless you're looking for that tag, you're not going to see it. Whereas, like, all the WWE shirts have the WWE logo on the back of the neck. So, as soon as you walk by and somebody looks to see the back of your shirt, they're like, oh, this dude probably doesn't shower because he's a wrestling fan. But, yeah. I don't know. If we were going to do any type of shirts, I would say we would go more for the
Like the subtle.
like, band shirt. Or, like, just a logo.
Mm-hmm. Logo is always calm enough.
Like, and I'm a big fan of the pocket shirts. So if we did one that was a pocket shirt, it would be just like a normal color, and you could just choose whatever color you want. But then on the pocket, it would just have like the AEW tag, like it would just have that on the pocket, and that's the only way you would know it's one of our shirts. So, and to me, that's cooler. If you making a shirt that people are actually gonna wear,
That's better.
to more than just conventions, is the ultimate goal. Like, and that was like, I think the links are up. I don't know if we can actually sell them or not, but I made those SWW City shirts.
Great.
And
I can believe about those.
yeah, well, I didn't really do much with them past.
Like, kind of look at them.
Yeah.
I'd be curious. I don't know the right a city has to a skylum.
Well, it was all their flags, which are public domain.
Right, flags is the problem. Yeah, right.
So.
See, but like, AEW though sold like I have the hat. That's Chicago's flag.
Yeah. Like that's what the Chicago SWW one was. It was just a flag.
So I don't know then why, because if I could have that hat, that means.
Yeah, we could have done those shirts for sure, but none of them were skylines. They were all the city flags. Or I did one that was Florida, so it was the state flag. But like those would be our okay. We're doing a show in Chicagoland. We're making Chicago shirts.
Which is why I have the AEW hat, because it was Chicago show. I got that at the Punk reveal.
We're gonna do GDEX. Okay, well we'll do an Ohio one. Like, we would do
Control.
themed shirts for where we are. I really wanted to be able to actually be in person for MomoCon, because then I would have done the peach tree ones.
That's still the one that maybe obsessed me the most about COVID, because we had an option to talk at MomoCon.
Yeah, I
like,
hope they extend that once they do the
we could
convention again.
we could try next year, sure. Because that was one that was like a decently big too. Like that was what was upsetting about.
Let's just try to keep moving. Just keep capping and moving.
That's what I'm doing. Which way they're coming from?
You captured Zone C. You have advantage.
Huh?
Keep
Got
moving,
double plate.
keep moving. On to B. They're capping B. I'm gonna need help.
I'm heading over. Oh, but last in Prior Endpoint news, because looking at this round, did you watch the Endpoint Nintendo Direct today?
I did not. I saw the impact of it.
Would you believe that the moment I saw the light fly out of the when Mario threw the fire, I started screaming like a small child.
Oh, I absolutely believe it because you're an absolute nerd.
So part of this, I can't believe they actually did it. Like that's the part that gets me is
I understand that he is by far the most requested character.
no, I meant just from a licensing point of view. Like how many shareholders had to agree?
Probably not that many.
It's at least minimal both Nintendo and Disney. I mean, Square and Disney. It's your minimal. It's the only Disney character in Smash.
Well, no, it would just be Square, right? Because he's...
No, Disney co-owns.
Well, but is he not a separate character?
No, he is the main character of Kingdom Hearts.
They got an AFKer, at least one of them.
You are not allowed to. My understanding of how the rights work for that character is they both have to sign off on anything. And like most things, they will like shirts or whatever. But like from a game especially point of view, both shareholders have to because it's so ingrained with the Disney brand at this point, whether you want it to or not, that they don't want it being used in a way that will.
I honestly would not equate Kingdom Hearts to Disney.
I know you wouldn't. Okay, but enough people will where it could be a negative impact to the brand in their head if something goes wrong.
I think the only people that equate Kingdom Hearts to Disney are Kingdom Hearts fans, because nobody knows what that is. Like,
but if you see Sora, people might picture Donald.
they would have to know. Like I said, they would have to know Kingdom Hearts. Like
the other one though, so I don't know if you saw, one of the skins is like the old-fashioned skin in the style of Steamboat Willie. I'm curious that one is the one that people are shocked by.
I avenge you.
We are.
Holy shit! Oh, it was a. It must have been a mercy.
That was a mercy.
Holy cow!
I didn't even realize. I looked up. I was like, oh.
I need more like you.
Maybe it was because one of their guys was AFK.
I didn't realize that'd be enough to do it.
I mean, I had 25 score. I had 11 kills, 3 caps. I was 2.2. Yeah, I was like 11 and 5. But, yeah, I mean, seeing kind of the discourse of Smash fans of why did they put another sword guy in? Like, that's one extreme, and the other extreme was, I can't believe they actually did it, like, this is amazing. But then there was the third party of, you guys really wasted your last character. Like, they could have gone to the moon. They could have put anybody in Smash.
A lot of people just is to the moon, though.
But it really is, like, they have precedent, right? Like, they have other Final Fantasy characters, don't they?
They have both Cloud and Sephiroth. And I'll play this last game because that was dumb stupid.
Yeah, that's why we're playing it. But
they have Sephiroth and Cloud, and then they probably have some like trophies or whatever. Yeah, Sephiroth.
So they've already had those discussions, right? Like, so it would just be getting Disney to okay it. And if it's Nintendo, I feel like Disney's gonna be like, yeah, sure, whatever. I mean, hell, they did that Mario painting thing. That was with was it Fantasia, I think?
Yeah, that
Wicked
sounds right.
Mickey or whatever.
Epic Mickey?
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
I
Epic
thought there
Mickey
was one that was like Mickey was a painter, like Mario Paint style.
Oh, okay. I was thinking Epic Mickey was just like the one spot.
Control.
Maybe it was Epic Mickey. They did some, like, they had already had some
The first Epic Mickey was Wii exclusive, and the second one was cross systems. It was God. You think I know the team? It was the Team Spectres ad until they shut down. Disney bought them or something. forgot what it was.
Are you Captain B?
Yeah.
Enemy
You sure?
claimed Zone C.
Yeah.
Because I just see it going back and forth.
B is pretty good right now.
Zone B captured. You have advantage.
Tokyo's
Okay,
capturing
no.
B.
They're coming for A.
B.
But, you know, so they had already had... There's some business relationship there already.
Sure, yeah. Like, there's not none.
Has advantage.
There's also different Nintendo and different Disney. Actually, that might be more open to that too.
I would think Nintendo would be more open and Disney would be less right now.
Sure. What I don't understand though, so at the same time they announced that the Kingdom Hearts games were coming to Switch. What I don't understand though is, so I understand why 3 is a cloud-only game. Why are the other ones cloud games?
Probably because they made the infrastructure for 3, so why not use it?
They just don't play. Like you, cloud streaming is just not as good. Like,
Oh, it absolutely isn't, but also think about the crowd that... Who's really going to be playing Kingdom Hearts on a goddamn Switch? It's going to be the Japanese, and they're already doing a bunch of this cloud stuff.
I was thinking like, because of how I play my Switch, I play basically almost as always. Like half time was like airplanes.
You have zone advantage.
Or my girlfriends and whatever. Like that's kind of when I played because I don't have internet or good
Zone
internet.
B lost.
Not
Enemy
connected.
has advantage.
Dude just whiffed. We should look up and see if Truly Naughty's live on Twitch, because if he is, that whiff is hilarious.
You captured Zone C. You have zone advantage.
But, no, I mean, like, if you were going to do a massive collaboration, why not shoot for the moon, get like an actual person, like an
do you-
athlete or something like that.
Because I wouldn't care to Smash. You're talking about Smash fans though.
Yeah, but you could do like, you could get Shaq, or you could get like get somebody that's an athlete that also has like crossover.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's very few of them, but I agree with you saying. See, you know the disgusting thing would be if they did LeBron because of the movie. No, fuck it. You know, it'd been really cool if it was shit like Bugs Bunny walked out. Can you imagine if like Bugs Bunny walked out? People would have lost their mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would have been a cool one. Like out of nowhere, you're like, what?
Yeah, anything that, because I feel like it was
Zone A lost.
the
Enemy has
easiest
advantage.
way to shut people up. Like, here you
I also
go,
find it interesting that
dipshits.
that they've actually done with Smash. Like, why do we get to the point where they actually want to announce they're done and be done?
The only
like-
thing I can think
Let's make a new one.
is they are taking this time and like actually seeing what the FGC does,
Sure.
because like, let's be real, the only reason Smash continues to be as popular is because of the FGC.
Zone C.
It's still like people still like it. It just probably wouldn't be have as much DLC.
Well, it would be popular for the 4 weeks on the charts, and then it would go off.
I bet you. What I
Like
don't understand
most
is though.
non-sports
So-
or
so-
Call of Duty.
What specifically with Smash I don't understand is, so they could probably, in theory, and I'm not kidding with you, make DLC for this game forever and just make sure you space it out correctly with your budgets, and like you could probably do that forever.
I don't deny that.
And that's why I don't understand why they're not just doing that, making a continued revenue stream, just making their lives easier.
Also, you have to remember, this is the company that doesn't understand the internet.
Because to me, if I was them, just you have so many characters even you just own. Just every 3-6 months or whatever, just be like, okay, here's new character time.
Minutes left.
And until they're not profitable, we keep doing this. And I don't believe you're at that point where they're not profitable. I just don't believe it. Looking
I mean,
at how much
The the proper way for them to do this is the Fortnite route. Have
Sure.
seasons, like
Make a point, which they kind of do at the Fighter Pass. I think is Nintendo's weird way of making seasons.
Zone A lost. Enemy has advanced.
Not a good way of doing it, but I think it is their way of trying to do that. They made a point of being like, here's Fighter Pass, here is this. And we supplement it also with skins that are relatively cheap for us to make. They're 75 cents, but they're worth something to help us on our bottom line.
But think about it this way, right? Like,
C captured.
fighter passes are something that they've done in fighting games for millennia, basically since the internet, and it doesn't follow the Fortnite, you know,
Zone B lost.
3-month
Enemy has
season or
advanced.
2-month season. Like, you know, they just call them that because that's their DLC schedule. Like, it's not like nothing changed when Fighter Pass 2 comes out. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's characters and skins. Now, obviously, I don't know how much you could really.
Yeah, that's my problem too with it being a fighting
Change?
game. How much do you change before people get upset at you?
Well, you could do like skins for stages.
Oh,
Like,
skins, yeah, skins for stage is a good one. They had some of that collectible stuff. You can make certain rules.
well,
with
because
that.
think about it, like the first 4 or 5 Fortnite seasons were just skins for the map.
Did you ever think about how we were at G-Dux when Fortnite just decided to do their event where they just turned it off for 3 days? Do you remember how insane that was?
I do, but I didn't care because I didn't play the game, so it didn't matter.
It blew my mind because no other company, because the shareholders could do that. Like, that was exclusively an Epic getaway from that.
Other companies could do it, but I don't think they could do it the way that Epic so.
They just
freely
turned it
did
off.
I
Like,
mean,
they straight just went, we're done.
EA
day.
could do it and call it a
The
server
shareholders would be
outage.
so pissed.
Zone advanced.
They would be so pissed.
Well, they would just call it something else. They wouldn't like.
Yeah, they couldn't lie and just say the game's done for 3 days.
Yeah.
Because they'd have to release an FTC statement. Like, it'd be a whole thing. Like,
Which
you couldn't just...
everybody knew Fortnite wasn't done.
Oh,
So
I agree, but they at least could lie, where I don't think EA could legally lie. Like, that's the
I mean-
difference, I think.
Epic couldn't legally lie either. So
They're not publicly traded, so they can't.
no, but if, for example, if you were looking to invest in Epic,
They could have notified the shareholders. As long as that is true, they're fine. There's only so many. Also,
But,
being a
like-
privately traded company is a lot different rules on you.
You eat
Yeah.
monsters for breakfast.
but like for instance,
Could
if
win a
you
battle for territory.
were
Again.
a multinational conglomerate that was looking to invest in a technology, and suddenly the bread and butter of that technology is shut down, you know, that could cause some waves.
Well, also, I'm calling it here. We will actually see everyone next week.
Next week, Wednesday, normal time, 7 o'clock. So,
Eat.
and it should be a normal link stream then. Obviously, this is a little shorter. It's mostly due to Mike's scheduling, but you know what? We got through.
Yeah.